Okay, hi everyone. We're going to be talking about intellectual wellness today. I'm Karina. I'm an intern at the Wellness Center.
Hi, I'm Raquel. Thank you everyone for coming. I'm also an intern at the Wellness Center.
Hi, I'm Kelly, also an intern at the Wellness Center.
All right, so wellness is the active pursuit of activities, choices, and lifestyles that lead to a state of holistic health. There are 8 areas of wellness. It's social, physical, intellectual, emotional, spiritual, environmental, financial, and occupational.
What is intellectual wellness? Recognizing one's creative abilities and finding ways to expand knowledge and skills.
So we have created a list of some possible ways that you can practice intellectual wellness. Some are that you can watch documentaries or a TED Talk, read a book, listen to podcasts, talk with people who are already educated in your interests, or have a desire to continue learning. From doing all these things, you do continue to have a desire of learning. And what that means is that you have a self motivated pursuit of knowledge, and that can only help you by building human capital, confidence, help you view different perspectives, as well as help you feel accomplished.
So I put together some tips, some things that I try to do. So explore different opinions and debate with kindness. I think this is super important because, for example, I have my stepdad at home and he has very different opinions compared to what I have. And I try to encourage myself and challenge myself to engage in conversation with him about topics that we have different opinions on. So I try to focus on getting a consensus or to learn what he has to say instead of trying to prove him wrong or make it personal. So that can be really helpful to just gain an understanding of other people's views about a topic. And taking breaks is super important if you're studying, working, whatever it is. Our minds and our bodies can't really handle just being on all the time. So it's really important to like force yourself out of that chair or whatever you're doing and just do nothing for a while or just zone out. Um, and stay organized. I like to make sure my desktop is really organized and neat, as well as my room, because it helps me feel less stressed out. And learning a new language is so valuable because the more languages you learn, or the more of a language you learn, the more people you can talk to, and it also enhances your ability in your primary language. And find people who share your passion. I think it's really important to stay true to yourself and stick to your values and stand up for them. Otherwise, you're kind of creating a life that you don't truly believe in, and you'll attract the wrong people in the end. So if you're staying true to yourself, and instead of trying to like do things just because other people like them, then you will eventually attract people that are like you and have your passion. And I like to put my computer at eye level. So I have a computer visor, or I'll put it on top of a stack of books so that it doesn't affect my posture over time, or has like, sometimes it makes my neck hurt a little bit. So that really helps to just get work done in the proper way.
A few of my study tips are to start larger assignments early and breaking up the work. This helps especially with long-term projects or essays. Just break out a short period of time every day until you finish it. Look at past assignments as a study guide. Use a quiet space and take frequent study breaks to make a snack or go for a walk or just take a deep breath.
These are my study tips. My first one is to plan out your study time. So I like to break up assignments or studying for different days. That way it doesn't seem like I have a long list or pile of work to do on one day. I like to take organized notes. So I use abbreviations, summarize what I've learned or heard from a lecture, and also create questions in the margins of my notes. I think we are all familiar with flashcards or Quizlet when studying for a test. I use this for definitions and key concepts that I have a hard time remembering. You can also teach your subject matter to someone else. So this helps solidify that I know the contents that I need to know in preparation for an exam or a presentation. I like to study and discuss with classmates. That way, I know I have a full understanding of what I'm learning, as well as get different perspectives from others. And as Karina and Kelly both mentioned, you need to take care of yourself when you are doing any type of work, especially for extended periods of time. I like to take a walk. It is also very important to get enough sleep. So you can set a short timer for a quick nap in between assignments that you get done. I also like to make time for play, so that can be anything that you like to do. I like to practice ukulele or do something creative. Um, as Ravi, our supervisor, has mentioned many times to us, we are human beings, not human doings. So definitely give yourself a break sometimes.
So now we're going to do a little activity. It's an inventory for intellectual wellness. So you can type this out or you can take notes on a little piece of paper if you want. So basically, I'm going to be reading each one of these statements and you're going to rate yourself from never to usually. And the whole thing is out of 28. So you can add up your scores at the end to see maybe which statements, which one of these aspects of intellectual wellness you might need to work on and which ones you're good at already. Okay, so the first one is I am curious and interested in the communities as well as the world around me. Second one, I search for learning opportunities and stimulating mental activities. Third, I manage my time well rather than it managing me. Fourth, I enjoy brainstorming and sharing knowledge with others in group projects or tasks. Fifth, I enjoy learning about subjects other than those I am required to study in my major or concentration. Sixth, I seek opportunities to learn practical skills to help others. And lastly, I can critically consider the opinions and information presented by others and provide constructive feedback. So I'll give you another few seconds to add that up if you want. And you can take a moment to reflect on which parts you're already good at and which parts need some work. And wellness is a continuous thing. So it doesn't really have like an end goal, I would say. It's just kind of actively working to improve yourself. So does anyone want to share something that they reflected about or some insight that they had while doing this exercise? You can go ahead and talk out loud.
Well, I reflected that um, I have a lot more intellectual wellness than I thought. Like I joined thinking like intellectual wellness. I don't know if I really have that. But then as I was in the Zoom and learning like what it actually is, I discovered I have more than I thought I did.
That's great. I'm really happy to hear that. That's really good. Anyone else want to share?
Yeah, I'm Marissa. I felt a very strong physical response to I manage my time well. I don't do that well at all. I procrastinate. I'm very last minute. I think it dwells a lot. I can let it stews, and I think about it for way too long before I start it. Also, hello friends. Thank you, Raquel, for inviting me.
Yeah, that's really good that you felt that in your body. I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with. Like the point where emotions and physical sensations meet is really, really cool. Anyone else want to share? Okay, we'll move on.
So the next activity is to write 3 goals for the week and how to achieve them. What do you need to do to become the person you want to be in the future? And are your goals congruent with everyday behaviors?
So you can try to implement these questions in your life, and you can also just answer them right now if you want. Does anyone want to share a goal they have for the week?
I think my goal for the week will be to revise the next chapter of the novel I'm working on, because I really have not been doing that. And I guess another goal was to finish the 3rd episode of the podcast that I do.
Wow, that's so cool. What if you want, you can leave your podcast in the chat so we
Oh,
can.
that'd be cool. Yeah. Give me a second.
Anyone else want to share something that they came up with these questions?
I think my 3 goals for the week are going to be less screen time, like less phone time. After a long day of work, that's kind of the only thing I have energy to do because it takes no energy. And then clean my room and probably eat a little bit more. Work that in.
Nice.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry. These are our upcoming events at the Wellness Center, which can be found on our events page. So they are every Wednesday from 3 to 4, and these are the upcoming events. So on March 31st, next Wednesday, we have Emotional Wellness, and that will be right after the Counseling Centers program with Dominique Jackson, focusing on resiliency. We have spiritual wellness the first week of April, financial wellness, environmental wellness, and social and physical wellness following on the Wednesdays after that.
Yeah, I just want to add that for the 14th of April, we don't have class that day, so that might change, and we'll announce the new date and time on the Wellness Instagram, probably, as well as the Wellness page. So thank you everyone for coming. That was really nice. I hope you learned something. And I hope to see you in the next one. Does anyone want to share anything, reflections they had, insights, some of their tips maybe?
I also have the goal of less screen time or not using my phone while I'm trying to get something done. So the way that I've been doing that, I've been putting my phone on Do Not Disturb, or I just turn it off and put it into a drawer far away from me.
Yeah, that's really good. I have my phone tell me after like 20 minutes on Instagram, it reminds me you've been on Instagram for 20 minutes today. And honestly, usually I ignore it because I want to be on Instagram more, but it is helpful to know that I'm spending more time on Instagram than I want to.
I've done that too. I think I set 40 minutes across the board for all social media, which is just not enough, I think. So I find myself clicking the like 15 minutes more reminder or the 1 more minute reminder. And it's weird. It's like not even that stops me. So I have to physically put my phone in a different place for me not to use it or look at it. At this point, I just feel like it's just something I'm so used to. You know, it's on my body all the time. So it's hard sometimes. I wanted to ask, Karina, are you learning a different language?
Yeah, I already speak Spanish because I'm Venezuelan and I grew up there for the first few years of my life. But I took French for 10 years and I was going to minor in it, but then I decided that it wasn't like really relevant to my major and I wasn't super interested in it anymore. So I found that the French that I learned was sufficient. But I might try to learn another language, um, maybe Italian or Japanese.
That's super cool. I don't know any Venezuelan people.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really know many people here in the US either. They're pretty hard to find. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about how the areas of wellness are all integrated with each other. So today we talked about intellectual wellness, and last time we talked about occupational wellness. And the ways that those two are integrated, for example, is like you're working hard in school, and you're learning about new things and you're stretching your mind, that's intellectual wellness in a way. And then occupational wellness is kind of like how are you going to tie like your personality and lifestyle into a career and work, and like how are you taking care of yourself in that process? Like are you fulfilled in your job life, for example? So I think those are connected because like your school prepares you for your work, and like the more you know about other subjects, like the more open-minded you become over time, I think, and the more you can apply different areas of knowledge to what you're passionate about. Does anyone like Kelly or Raquel, do you want to maybe talk about other areas of wellness and how they're related?
Yeah. So the three that I feel relate pretty well are physical and social. There's a lot of ways that you can maintain physical wellness while being social, and like you can go exercise with friends, you could do yoga classes with friends, there's you can go try new food with friends, like you can just do all these different activities and maintain social wellness as well.
Britt, do you have a question or something you want to share?
I have something I want to add. So earlier, I think we were talking about like um having like something about Instagram and having like a very specific amount of hours on Instagram. And I feel like something we didn't touch upon that I'd like to talk about is having like realistic goals and like knowing like what works for you and what doesn't, because you need to have like really realistic goals that you know that you can do successfully.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Um, like Marissa and I were saying, Marissa put 40 minutes, right? And I put 15 minutes, which was a really difficult goal that I set for myself that I'm constantly not achieving. So I need to find like the perfect point where I think it's achievable, but also it'll help me look at other things in my life instead of a screen.
I think it's also to remember that we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves when we do find ourselves on our screen more than we'd like to, because this is the generation that we're in and the technology is all over, especially now with COVID. It is mandatory for a lot of us to be on technology a lot. So just be patient with yourselves and your goals pertaining to that.
Yeah, that's super important. Also, something else that has been happening in my life personally is that I'm trying to achieve really high goals in terms of a career and grad school. And I realize that I feel very stressed out when I'm trying to achieve those goals. So I'm trying to kind of change my goals in a way that makes me happier. So I don't have to be so stressed out all the time. Like there's a nice balance that you can have, achieve something that you would be proud of, but don't go crazy about something and, make yourself turn upside down, or whatever the phrase is, the expression that makes you feel, like you're too stressed out to achieve what you want to achieve.
I'd love to make a point about, internal goals versus external goals. If you are, thinking about obtaining a goal based on external pressures versus what you choose to authentically kind of try to achieve.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be motivated to complete the goal, accomplish the goal. No, it shouldn't be that anybody else is like forcing you to do it, because then you're not motivated and then it won't get done.
Yeah, well, I don't have much else to add right now. What about Kelly and Raquel?
Um, just talking about the limitations on social media, I only have one social media and I limit it to an hour. But since it's not on my phone, I never spend an hour on, I never end up spending an hour on social media. At the end of the day, it's like maybe 20 minutes. So maybe expanding your goal, not limiting yourself to very short periods. You'll, at the end of the week, when you look through, you may have only spent 15 minutes anyway. So
I also kind of wanted to add something, um, just because we are on screen all the time and technology is very prevalent right now. I think it's important for us to have at least 60 minutes for self-care at most, even if you like time it in certain ways. Like, for example, you can have like 20 minutes to go outside for fresh air, and then later on 20 minutes to stretch because you're sitting down for a long time, or even have like, I don't know, like 10 minutes to set your goals, or less than 10 minutes, or just writing or journaling something that you want to achieve later on, or something that had happened that day that you didn't know about, or just learning something new. And I guess you can also have more time for stretching, I think. Just because we barely do stretch sometimes. And always remember to have water, I guess, because I think people forget to have water sometimes. So even if you're stressed out or anything, just go get some fresh air, drink some water, stretch a little bit, and get back to whatever you're doing, but not forget that you also have to work on yourself and put yourself as a priority as well.
Yeah, I'd love to follow up on that, Fatima, because being able to even just eat mindfully rather than, kind of eating very quickly just to get it done, tasting the food, taking a shower mindfully, just taking the time to be in the present while you're doing whatever you're doing can be adding to your self-care, right? And definitely hydrate. I'm gonna right now. It's really important. Dehydration is really a thing. I mean, if you ever feel thirsty, you're already past the point of hydration. Like you really need to drink.
and that's also a great way to tie physical wellness with environmental wellness, because I know I saw Karina has her water can. I got this really big water can. So if I can finish it, like I have it on my desk, and it's also environmentally friendly. So that's a bonus.
That's right. And we will be giving away wellness water bottles, I believe on April 14th, correct? It's walk by for a water bottle. So just keep that in mind.
I also wanted to mention the Plants for Pills event, which is April 22nd, right, Robbie? Oh, what time is that at?
Yes,
11 to 3?
I think it's 12 to 3.
12 to 3, sorry.
That's-
So that is on campus if anyone is interested.
It is
On
an
Earth Day.
in-person event that will be social distance, and it is for National Take Back Day, which is our environmentally friendly way to dispose of medication that's unused, so that it's not available for use for anyone else, but also not going to end up in our waterways and our, you know, damage the environment in any way. So we will have the ability to put it in our medication take back box, which is in health services that day. And you'll get a plant in return. And if you don't have any unused medication, we'll give you a doTERRA bag, which is filled with charcoal that you can deactivate the medication once you have medication, and you can put it in the doTERRA bag and dispose of it environmentally friendly, since April 22nd is Earth Day. So yeah, that will be on campus, one of our first on campus events. Actually, April 14th, I will be doing yoga on the lawn if anybody is going to be on campus.
That's a really neat idea. I really like that.
The plants for pills, or
Yeah. I've never heard of anything like that, especially on Earth Day, which I feel like that, well, as you guys were saying, you're tying in wellness in different areas, but I've been a part of like many environmental groups, you know, from high school through college, and I just feel like we've never really expanded the green thought to people necessarily. Like obviously we want to better our environment, but I just really love that connection. And especially because there's so many people. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Sorry. Thank you.
no, yeah, not many people would be aware that, you know, any unused medication can be, number one, used by someone that it's not prescribed by, but also it's, you know, the disposal of that medication can be not environmentally friendly. So yeah, raising the awareness of both of those impacts. So you'll get a nice succulent plant if you come by Plants for Pills.
Well, I think we can wrap it up there. Thank you for coming, everyone.
Yeah, just check the events page and, you know, our Instagram for any posts on what's coming up next. And hopefully we'll see you next week, right?
Yes, thank you again to everyone that came.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks so much.
So I don't know whether Lauren is still here to stop the recording, or if it'll just stop when we finish the Zoom call.
Yeah, either way, she can trim it, so it's all good.
Okay, cool. Well, I will see you all in about an hour and a half, right?
Yes.
Good job. Thanks. Keep the good work up.
Thank you so much, Robbie.
Yes, thanks everyone. Thanks, Robbie.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good job, guys.